Hello everyone and welcome back to Urbe Salus. I am Leader AimsJ15. If there's anything that we can pray for, please let us know. The email will be in the description. It's also the business inquiry link on the description of the YouTube channel. If you're enjoying these videos, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. It will definitely help out. We are doing another tutorial. This is tutorial number 5. And today I would like to welcome you to the Urbe Salus Redstone test zone. Today is our tutorial on Redstone. I love Redstone. It's one of the things I love doing in creative mode, and once you get to know the principles of Redstone, then you can start making some really awesome things. Let me check on something real quick. Alright, it just got dark. So, if you're wondering what Redstone is, I'll get to that in a second. This is what's called a Redstone ready world. This is a world I built for testing Redstone for Urbe Salus, and I figured it would be an interesting tutorial. So if I get some sandstone, some glass, and hang on, let me check on something. Okay, we had a bit of audio interference, so I'm gonna have to cut that out. So Redstone. Redstone is the electricity of Minecraft. It comes with its own set of rules and intricacies that make it interesting and fun, and also sometimes frustrating. So if we start with where you can find the basic components of Redstone. Redstone dust, redstone torch, block of redstone, buttons and levers, and pressure plates are the basic, very, very basic parts of redstone. Redstone dust, in fact, all of this stuff can be found in survival Minecraft. It's just a lot harder. Redstone dust is found, well, you get it from redstone ore, which is found in the lower levels of the overworld, and it has to be mined with an iron pickaxe or better. Get a bunch of redstone dust and you can make a redstone block. So if we lay out our power sources first, start with levers, buttons, pressure plates, weighted pressure plates, target, lectern, trapped chest, and observer. Also lightning rod and daylight detector. Used to be called daylight sensor, but anyway. So, what the heck? Anyway. So if we lay out our power sources, that's where I'll get started for this redstone tutorial. Power sources are blocks in Minecraft that will put off a redstone signal. And a redstone signal is a pulse, which is kind of like the electricity of Minecraft, as I said earlier. that will activate other redstone components. So, trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, yep, sure did. Yeah, I can't place that on the ground. Okay, I'm gonna need this. Okay. So, these are our power sources. As I said, they send signals to other redstone components. They are where the quote-unquote electricity starts. So if I put redstone dust by the power source, which is the redstone dust is like our wire, and actually they call it redstone wire now. It's a little annoying, but they call it redstone wire when you lay it down like that. When the component is activated, it will oh boy. Cut off a certain redstone signal. So this is a weighted pressure plate. You have to put something heavy on it, like you can barely even tell there's a signal there because it's weighted, so it has to have a certain amount of weight to activate it. This is a regular pressure plate. It lights up nice with a full signal of 15. And this is our lever, button, observer, lightning rod, target, lectern, trapped chest. Let's see if I can. Daylight detector, also known as, well, yeah, daylight detector or daylight sensor, can also be set to a nighttime or darkness sensor. We have a block of redstone and a tripwire hook. Let me get this set up better as far as the tripwire hook goes. The tripwire hook there we go. Okay. So pressure plates put off a signal in every horizontal direction. Horizontal and vertical, not diagonal though. So they will even put off a signal underneath them. And I don't know, I think above them is pretty hard to demonstrate. I don't know if they'll do that, but they'll send a signal underneath them. And also, why did I do that? So underneath and on each side. Levers will do the same thing, and buttons will do the same thing as well. Levers and buttons will send signals in the same direction as pressure plates, except for the fact that pressure plates will only go on the floor. Levers and buttons will go on any side. So it could be a wall or a ceiling. An observer watches for block updates. So if you place a block in front of it, it will activate. If you break a block in front of it, it will activate. And it will only send a signal out the back. Lightning rods will create a pulse when struck by lightning. Targets, if you shoot them, the pulse is stronger the closer you get to the center of the target. Lecterns, you put a book on them, they'll pulse a different strength every time you turn a page. Trapped chests will put off a signal when they're opened. I showed you the daylight sensor. The redstone block puts out a signal on all sides. On top, on each side of the cube, and below it, just not on diagonals. Tripwire hook has to be set up on a block with string attached to it to another tripwire hook. If it's stepped on, it will activate. If you try to break it, it will depress first. So if you're trying to get past a tripwire, you have to break the hook first, or else you will end up tripping the tripwire. So that's all of our power sources. Now if we move to other components, our components that can be activated. You can see why redstone can be so useful. And some of these it can get quite complex. So I'm just covering basic redstone in this. Okay, very basic redstone in this tutorial. So you can see some of the very basic functions of redstone, but I'm not getting into like logic circuits right now. That's something we can get into maybe in the future if you want. Let us know in the comments. And this. So if you watch, this is a redstone lamp. When it receives a redstone signal, it puts off light. This is a redstone comparator. It measures signals. So it sends a signal to this. Alright, this is better illustrated if we have. It sends a signal to the component, which can be a wire or another component of redstone, that is equal to the signal it receives plus the signal coming in from the side. So I really should have put it somewhere else, but the signal will get stronger if it receives a signal from the side. If you put it in subtract mode, the signal will get weaker. In fact, it will turn off if the signal from the side is stronger than the signal from the back. That is a really weak signal right there. You can barely tell there's a signal, but there is one. It's just really weak. Redstone repeater will delay a redstone signal and it delays it by ticks. So there's 20 ticks in 1 second. Each redstone repeater is default to 1 tick, but can also be set to 2, 3, or 4 ticks of delay. So if you watch, it delays the signal. It doesn't just delay the signal, however, it also renews the signal. So there's a signal strength of 15 coming from, was it a signal strength of 15 or 1? How does that work? The signal strength of, I believe it's 15. I believe you go down. So it's a signal strength of 15 coming straight from here. It's a signal strength of 15 coming out. However, if we didn't have the repeater, it was just a straight line of redstone, then the signal would progressively get weaker. So we'd have a signal strength of 15, 14, 13. With the repeater, you can reset the strength of the signal. A dispenser dispenses whatever you put in it when it receives a redstone signal. A dropper drops whatever. Oh, yep, can't activate that right now. Ooh. Drops whatever you put in it when it receives a signal. And the big difference there is if you put a water bucket. So a dropper would just drop the water bucket, no water would go anywhere. A dispenser would actually dispense the water, so there would be a water source. A sticky piston is similar to a piston, which I haven't illustrated yet, but it sticks to blocks. So a piston or sticky piston can push up to 12 blocks. A sticky piston can pull up to 12 blocks if you can connect them. And the way to do that is to use slime blocks and honey blocks to make the chain longer. So it goes up to 12 blocks. And a sticky piston will not just push, it will also pull. A lectern, or not a lectern, an iron trapdoor is a trapdoor that will only open, I really need to, there we go, if it receives a redstone signal. It will only open like that. This door, it's just a regular door, will open with a redstone signal, but it can also be opened and closed without the redstone signal. So if it's made out of iron, like an iron door or iron trapdoor, it will only open if it receives a redstone signal. Normal doors open regardless. No block will put off a certain note when it receives a redstone signal, and the regular piston will push but not pull. That's key there. Push, but it won't pull. And our fence gate. So those are our components that do something when they receive redstone. Oh, I didn't put TNT down. Well, TNT blows up. I don't think that really needs much explaining, and I don't want to have to clean up a big mess. So, you know what? I think I will get into logic gates. The next thing is transferring signals. So, this is an opaque block. This is a transparent block. What's the difference? Redstone will travel through an opaque block. In a straight line. In a straight line. That's very key. It will not travel through a transparent block. This can help you create pathways for the redstone and keep it from going places you don't want it and shape where the signal goes. Also, something to consider is the fact that redstone will not go on a diagonal, or not diagonal, it will not go vertical. Redstone dust in and of itself cannot go vertically. It will go not on the diagonal this way, but on the diagonal this way. So it will staircase up and down blocks. A way to send a signal up is using slabs. Mind you, it's still not completely vertical though, because it takes up more than one block. So when I say vertical, I mean it will not put off a vertical signal without taking up more than 2 blocks. Bother, set that up wrong. It will not put off a vertical signal in 1 block of space. At least not for long distances. It will put off a vertical signal in 2 blocks of space, only going up if you use this method right here, staggering the slabs. And if you want to send a signal down, you can't use the slabs, but here, let me show you the signal. It'll go up, but it won't go down. If you want to send a signal down, it'll take up the method well, you can still use 2 blocks of space. You can use a different method using a redstone torch. A redstone torch sends off a signal anytime it does not have power running to it. Confusing yet? So If you don't put power to a redstone torch, it will send a redstone signal. But, as demonstrated, if it does get power, it will turn off. This is key for logic gates, because it can help us sort out the type of signal we want to get. So we can send this signal down, off, on, using this method. It's a bit more space consuming, but it gets the job done. So you can send a signal up and down like this, or down. You can't send a signal up this way. Or you can send, you can send a signal up this way, you can send a signal down this way. But it takes up at least 2 blocks of space to do that. It will not go vertically in 1 block of space. So give me a second to set this next one up, and I'll get to logic gates. Alright, so I've got the logic gate set up. Now, headache warning. Even I was getting a headache setting these up there. Some of them are a little complex. So first we have input output. It's pretty simple, on and off, like you would think it should be. The NOT gate is just the opposite. So whenever the switch is off, the output is on. So on, off. It just reverses the input output is backwards. So NOT gate. This is an AND gate, I believe. Yes. Both of these have to be on for the output to be on. If only one of them is on, then the output is off. And if they're both off, the output stays off. They must both be on for the output to be on. This is a NAND gate. So in this case, they must both be on for the output to be off. So if both are on, the output is off. If both are off, the output is on. It's just the opposite of an AND gate. Then we move on to an OR gate. So on. If one is on, then the output is on. If both are on, the output is on. If both are off, the output is off. Either of them can be on, basically. This is a NOR gate, just the opposite of an OR. So if even one of these is on, then the output is off. If they're both on, the output is off. If they're both off, the output is on. Just the opposite of an OR gate. This, hang on a second. This one's a little complicated. This is where we get to our headache warning. I could tell you the output by looking at it, but I want to make sure. Okay, this is a XOR gate. XOR. It's quite complex. Basically, no switch can be on at the same time. They cannot be on at the same time. If they're on at the same time or off at the, okay. They can't have the same output. They must have different outputs. So this one has to be on, and that one has to be. This one has to be on, and that one has to be off. Or this one has to be off, and that one has to be on. If they're both off, no can do. And I don't know why I didn't put a piston there, but if they're both off, no can do. If they're both on, no can do. But if one is off and the other is on, cool. If the other one's off and this one's on, cool. But if they're both off or they're both on, no can do. Now this It's ignore. Ignore. It's just the opposite, okay? Basically, they have to both be the same output. So, both off or both on, cool with that. But if they have different output, not cool with that, okay? Ignore. Okay, and these are getting a little annoying, so... And... implies gate. That's... Whew. Alright, so implies gate has an A and a B. Basically, the only way for this to be off is if A is on and B is off. So A is on, B is off. See? It's the only way this turns off. Any other way, if we have A is on, B is on, okay, we're on. A is off, B is on, we're still on. You see how this works here? If they're both off, well, hang on. If they're both off, the output is on. So the only way to turn this off is if A is on and B is off. And you can kind of see, I don't know, some of you might be a little confused. Just take some time, and if you need to pause the video, pause the video. Look at how the switches are, or the levers, and look at how the redstone torches are. Okay, so pause the video if you need to and check those out, and just see if you can kind of understand what's going on here. And the point of a logic gate is to measure inputs. So input output is the most simple. It's barely a logic gate. It's on and off. Pretty simple. Not gate, it just reverses that. So if you want to have like a lock mechanism, I use not gates a lot in locking mechanisms. You put two of them in a row and you can keep like a piston door from opening from the outside as long as a certain torch is turned on. No. As long as a certain torch is turned off. It depends on how you set it up. But I use NOT gates a lot. I don't use AND gates a lot. Or NAND gates. There's a lot of these I don't use a ton. But see if you can figure out what's going on here. Pause the video if you need to. And there's another sort of logic gate here. It's actually a pulse shortener. It's called a T flip-flop or a toggle flip-flop. And basically, the idea is if you can give a really short pulse to a sticky piston, what happens is the sticky piston will release the block that it's stuck to. And you can do this in multiple different ways, but I guess you could say textbook version of the toggle flip-flop is you have a sticky piston with a redstone block so that you can create a switch with a button. So a button already puts off a very short redstone signal. However, if you use a button with, I don't even know if that's going to work. Oh, it's movable. Okay, I know that now. If you use a button with a sticky piston normally, the pulse is still long enough that it will hold on to the block that you put it on. Using this pulse shortener, it should let go of this redstone block, leaving it put that in the wrong spot, didn't I? Yep, there we go. Leaving it above the redstone dust and therefore powering the redstone dust. And the next time you hit the button, the pulse shortener will extend the sticky piston really fast, and it'll come back and it will bring the redstone block with it. So if we press this button, it's really fast because that pulse has to be almost like a snap to get that sticky piston to release. If we hit the button again, boom. So I can do a little circuit just to show you from a distance so you can see from side view. Key here. This redstone signal has to go straight into this block. It's actually going into the block and the piston at the same time, which is kind of where we get the pulse shortening effect here. Because it goes through this block to get here, but then the block gets moved by the piston, which is also powered by the same signal. When that signal goes out, the piston comes back down, and by that time, this is already retracted. So I'm going to come back here, try not to confuse y'all. See? On and off with a button instead of a lever. And buttons make things look really cool. They just do. And so that's our logic gates. And a pulse shortener. There's another way to do a pulse shortener. You have to use a comparator. And I don't know if I can do this one. We'll try. I will try. I think it goes like this. And comes back in. So that... And this is a much more compact way to do this. It's probably better. I should consider this next time. Instead of doing a T flip-flop. I use T flip-flops a lot. And I'm just now learning what I should have already known about these comparators. So I should begin to utilize this more often. I might make for better circuits. We'll see here. Nope. What was that? I don't know. Maybe it's... Hang on. This is confusing. Let's see here. Oh, this isn't on subtract mode. Let's try it on subtract mode, see if that works. Nope, that was a clock. Nothing. Yeah, this might be a while. I'm not the best when it comes to comparators. Okay, I'll have to figure that out. But the idea is that you get a short pulse from... That's not good. I need to figure that out. The idea is that you use the fact that the comparator will subtract the signal here from the signal here to get a really short pulse. Wait a minute. I might be onto something here. See, the T flip-flop has to use... It might be crazy, but... I'm probably crazy. That's adding. Okay. You kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to do? Then if you kind of get the idea of what I'm trying to do, then that's great. If you don't, I'm sorry. I really need to figure that out. Like I said, I'm sort of new to comparators. I took forever trying to figure out what they were, and now that I know what they are, I'm like, oh, that would have been helpful. Need to figure out how to use these better. But if you keep playing around with Redstone, and these are flying machines, this is a whole new league of, it's a whole different league, but you know, if you keep playing around with Redstone, you can create stuff like this. Or like one of these super cool but kind of creepy sometimes doors. Oh, ho, 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 ho. I like that. I don't know. And all three of these are flying machines because that's what I was working on. I think I got this one to work finally. Oh no. Oh wait, yep. It works. If you're wondering why there's a big chunk missing, this part always seems to glitch for some reason. I don't know. On another world it might work better, or if I moved it to a different location. But the idea is to have an elevator that you can call. So like if I want to call it back down, I can call it down. I can hit the button again, and wait, there's a bit of delay so you can get in. There you go, elevator. So, but that's completely different than what we're looking at here. Really what we're looking at here is if you want to construct something like our classic Jeb door here. So, I want to construct a what am I doing? Going crazy, that's what's happening. 1, 2, 3, 4. Better, maybe, hopefully. Okay. Maybe you can see this was, it's a pretty simple redstone circuit actually. I love these things though because they're great for making hidden bases and it's simple. I mean, I know if you want to do something more complicated and extravagant like a humongous bay door made out of flying machines, that's cool too, but I just like the simplicity and the functionality of these. What am I doing? I have to have a lever. Okay, the simplicity and functionality of these Jeb doors. Basically, the idea is that you hide the door behind the wall, right? And it's a little 4x4 door. It gets hidden in the wall, and when you open it up, it's very obvious that it's there. But you open it up, and it's very obvious. But when you close it, it hides. Okay, I can't go over there. I'm going on the side. When you close it, it hides behind the wall, so no one can see it. So if you're making a secret base, what was that? That was that. Ooh, 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 ooh. That's not good. I put that way too close. Oh, I should have known better. I've been doing these forever. You have to be really careful when you're working with pistons because they need special attention. That's all I'm gonna say right now. Cause they're listening right now. You see they're right there, and There we Let's try this again. I have been doing these forever, but you see it's flush with the wall and you can't see it until it opens up, and it's nice and smooth, and I like it. But that's it's very simple. It's just, I mean, it doesn't even, what I like to do is make it more complicated and add in a NOT gate so it's closed until you flip the button or the switch. Let me try that again. Until you flip the lever, or it's got like a code lock on it. It's pretty simple, but you can start making things like this if you just start playing around with Redstone, start understanding how it works, and you can really go far with it. So we're going to do our verse for this episode, and then we'll finish up. And this verse is in Proverbs. It's Proverbs chapter 8, and it starts in verse 1. Chapter 8, verse 1 through 3. Does not wisdom call out? Does not understanding raise her voice? At the highest point along the way where the paths meet, she takes her stand. Beside the gate leading into the city, at the entrance, she cries aloud. Proverbs is one of the books of wisdom. I encourage you to read it. It's a very enlightening read. If there's anything we can pray for, the email's in the description. It's also the business inquiry link or business inquiry email on the description of the YouTube channel. If there's anything that we can pray for, let us know. If you're enjoying these videos, please like, share, and subscribe. It will definitely help out. Thank you guys for watching, and God bless.